Here it comes, that you see on your screen, called Justice on Trial. It tells the true story behind Justice Brett Kavanaugh's Supreme Court nomination. The authors of that book join us now. We thought they were going to be in studio. They're not. They're elsewhere. They're in Washington, D.C., which is just as good. Come in, Molly Hemingway and Carrie Severino. Thank you both for joining us. Molly, let me begin with you. Okay. Why are there so many great stories that you say that were surrounding this particular nomination that were never told? Tell me some of those stories.
Right. Well, Carrie and I both knew from working on this, working on the nomination. I was covering the nomination battle. She was working on it. But this was a fascinating story. We thought we knew a lot of the stories, but then we interviewed people for the book, more than 100 people, including the president, vice president, senators, Supreme Court justices, people close to the Kavanaughs and people close to the Blasies. And we realized there was so much that we didn't know. And so we tell a lot of different stories in here about what was happening behind the scenes, such as the near fist fights that broke out in the Senate as the confirmation battle heated up and Republicans got increasingly angry at what Democrats were doing to throttle the nomination. We also tell the story of what Christine Blasie's friends, some of her close friends, think about her allegation that I think might be surprising, including the woman she said was a witness to the alleged assault who not only said she didn't remember it, but ends up telling the FBI she lacks confidence in her friend's story.
Carrie, media bias is also a major theme. How much did that play as, what kind of role did that play as this story unfolded?
Yeah, we wanted to tell some of these stories because we knew they weren't being reported as fully as one would expect. And obviously this is something that Molly follows extensively. We have a lot of shocking examples of things the media knew but weren't reporting. The one that really hit my jaw on the floor was that NBC had interviewed one of Michael Avenatti's other witnesses. He said he had an additional witness to the Swetnick gang rape allegations. And when NBC interviewed her to try to check out this story, she said, "Oh no, he has twisted my words. I don't want to even work with him anymore because he's been so dishonest with me." They knew this. They knew it before he even brought that witness out into the public. And it could have been a blockbuster story for them, but they kept it quiet until literally weeks after the confirmation. So that was some of these shameful examples where people were covering for the real holes and inconsistencies in some of the stories that were coming out.
Also, an interesting what's come out of this, another one for you both, Amazon refusing to publish many reviews and ratings of your book, and the New York Times misrepresenting book sales of your book. Molly, are you surprised by that?
Sadly, I'm not surprised by it. We are thrilled, by the way, with the success of the book. It was the #1 hardcover nonfiction last week by Publishers Weekly, #1 on Amazon, and we do have 260 or so reviews on there with really great reviews. So we're happy about it, but there were some problems, and more than anything, I would say the fact that we've yet to see New York Times or Washington Post or other major media like that even acknowledge the book's existence, which is the #1 book in America, and tells so many stories that you normally don't hear based on interviews with Supreme Court justices, the president, and senators. This is normally the kind of story that they would be really interested in.
And Carrie, I guess to Molly's point, you're probably not surprised by this because you talked about the media bias during this tumultuous confirmation hearing, and now here you are. Even the book on it is being, subjected to media bias.
Exactly. It's just kind of not being discussed. But again, we're so thrilled that we could do this on the strength of the book itself. So it's so thrilling to read people who actually clearly they read it. They didn't even just hear it on TV because the networks haven't had us on yet. It's been great to be able to talk about it and know that there's a real hunger for people to understand what happened last year, and hopefully that they will learn so they can hold people accountable and so that they can have their antennas up next time so that we can prevent this happening again.
Very good. Molly Hemingway, Carrie Severino. The book is Justice on Trial. Thank you both for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.